How would they consider a Harris presidency? Just in geopolitics.
I think they'll walk all over her. I think they'll look at her. I think they'll walk all over her. She'll be so easy for them. She'll be like a play toy. They look at her and they say, we can't believe we got so lucky. They're going to walk all over her. And I don't want to say as to why, but a lot of people understand it.
Yeah, I want to be the first to sign up to say that I understand what you're saying. I don't think it's true, but I think we understand exactly what you mean. And as is going to become just a constant, constant in this campaign, Trump is gonna say something. He's gonna blow a dog whistle so loud that dogs' heads will explode, and Kristi Noem will clap. And then his campaign will have to come out and explain, no, it's not what you think, it's not that. And that's what they're saying right now. So Trump campaign spokeswoman Carolyn Leavitt said he wasn't referring to race or to gender, and went on to criticize Harris over her record on immigration and other policies. She's weak and dishonest and dangerously liberal, and that's why the American people reject her on November 5th. Yeah, that's all well and good. That has nothing to do with what he just said. Makes you a good spokesperson, you change the subject, but we're gonna return to it. So they're gonna take one look at her. He kept saying that. They're gonna look at her and they're gonna walk all over. They're gonna consider themselves really lucky, and I don't wanna say why. Do you know how much Donald Trump is perfectly comfortable saying why? If even Trump is like, I'm gonna keep this one to myself. Now, obviously he has no self-restraint. We talked about that with a psychologist yesterday. He has the impulsivity characteristic of psychopaths, but he's like, I shouldn't say it. I should say that I'm thinking it. But anyway, look, I don't even know exactly which it is, Sharon. I know it's either racism or misogyny, or more likely a combination of the two. Where do you think he was aiming his ire?
So can I give percentages? Because clearly it's C. I think he telegraphed that. It's some of both. I think it is 68% racism. Okay, and then what's that make it? 32% misogyny. I probably should have left for error or whatever, 2 or 3 percentage points for yet a third thing. There's got to be something else. I'm an ugly person, whatever. But yeah, I think he knows what he meant. We know what he meant. Remember when Carly Fiorina said, I know exactly what Mr. Trump meant, talking about my face, and so do the women at home. So it's clear. I would rather prefer if he just say it out loud. Come on with it. We've now been in a state in this country and really globally where we've seen it all. So let's just, come on, rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah.
Get uglier.
Yeah, and by the way, Trump, that's what your fans want. That's why they're tuning into this low energy, low T interview of yours, and you can't even deliver it. What are you, scared? Are you scared of the mainstream media's reaction? Are you scared the Kamala's gonna hit me? What are you so scared about, dude? Just say what's on your mind. I keep hearing you tell it like it is. I keep hearing you're a straight shooter or whatever. Let's actually hear the terrible things that are on your mind. And by the way, in the past, he wasn't so scaredy pants. He would throw out all sorts of little attacks, and there's definitely patterns to it. There's the racism, sure, but as you were alluding to with your reference to Carly Fiorina, there's a lot of racism in the past too. Let's walk you through some of the lowlights.
She doesn't have the look, she doesn't have the stamina. I said she doesn't have the stamina.
It says when the anchor tosses to Carly Fiorina for her reaction to Trump's momentum, Trump's expression sours in schoolboy disgust as the camera bores in on her face. Look at that face, he cries. Would anybody vote for that? Can you imagine that, the face of our next president?
I'm trying not to use that name because that name's a little rough, I think. But if you think that Nikki becomes president. She was a bum 3 weeks ago. She was a bum. A failed vice president and a failed administration.
Okay, so you got bum, you got bird brain. Look, this is just add him to the long list of right wingers that have just a deep issue with women. They have entitlement and lust and suspicion and fear and anger, and just basically they act, when they think about women, they act the way they say women will be as president. They just can't control all these emotions and I just want them and they make me so mad, and why won't they sleep with me? They're emotional and impulsive, and he can't control himself. And as we're gonna get to, his campaign is very worried about that. But I also just wanna quickly throw out that he didn't just insult their intelligence or their ability to lead. He did plenty of that. But he regularly attacks their looks. He did it with Carly Fiorina. He did it with Hillary Clinton, saying she doesn't have the look. I think she looks like, in my mind, she's indistinguishable from Margaret Thatcher. How does she not have the look to be a female head of state? And he's doing the same thing with Kamala Harris too, just one look, and it's not gonna work. You, Sharon, left 3 percentage points for looks. I don't want politics to be about looks, but evidently that's where we are. So Trump, I just gotta tell you, dude, do you not realize how utterly ugly you are? I mean, Jesus Christ.
Thank
you weren't good looking in the 80s, okay? You had a bunch of money, so people pretended that you were attractive then, but you didn't even take care of yourself. You didn't know how to dress. You've literally never tailored a suit. You've never landed on a good haircut. And look, I understand the struggle, but keep at it. And eventually maybe your dye will come out and it'll look good. By the way, your body is an absolute wreck, which is fine, but you want things to be about looks and about masculinity and vigor and stamina, and you're just a pile of steaming trash. That's all you are. You think you have the look? You have the look for something that someone would find in an alley and be like, oh dear God. Not the look of a head of state, not a charismatic leader of men. And I'm perfectly happy to go back to not talking about looks, by the way, but Donald Trump wants it to be that. So Sharon, what do you think?
Don't forget celebrity. He also wants it to be about celebrity. When you're a star, you can grab him in the. So, I mean, this is who he is. And you're right. I sense projection. People who behave this way and are obsessed with looks and this and that. I think I'll give you another percentage. I think there's probably 72% of them. 72% of them actually look in the mirror and see these things in themselves. And they think if they just lead with it and point to you, you'll never get back to them. And most of the time, people are slightly more adult, so they don't even go there, okay? You just gave this whole thing that's not even you, because that's what he asked for. He's asking us to judge people based on looks. And he is a very lumpy guy. He's a lumpy guy with a tan. Okay, now can we move on to policy? That's not where he wants to go.
Yeah. Well, to be clear, not a lumpy guy with a tan, lumpy guy with a layer of shellac about an inch thick on him. That's the sun has nothing to do with it. The last time his body interacted with the sun was when he nearly blinded himself by looking at an eclipse. Since then, it hasn't had an effect on his body. Thanks for watching our video. Did you know that you can support our show by becoming a subscriber? Just click the subscribe button and also ring the bell so that you get notifications when we're live or when we post new content.